Welcome to Comic Talk. I'm Nick23.
I am Jershpool.
And we are
Omega Level. Omega Level, Omega Level, Omega Level.
Omega Level.
Yeah, I ruined that. What up? I don't care. I'll steal the show. I live here.
I don't care. I'll ruin what I want to ruin. I'll ruin this
Beautiful.
entire episode right now. I'll ruin you. I'll ruin you. I'll ruin all you out there.
Honestly, I think we did a pretty good job ruining this last week. I'm not going to lie.
I'm a ruiner.
What can I say? So, Mr. and Mrs. X.
I'm obviously, I am loving this series. I mean, Rogue and Gambit are my favorite Marvel characters, so this series is like tailor-made for me.
Oh,
I knew
absolutely.
I was going to love it.
Yeah, as soon as you introduced, I was like, oh, the cover, and it deals with these two. Yeah, 100% knew this was going to be a good read. And also, I knew you were going to suggest it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. A Rogue and Gambit comic where they're married now? Yeah, that's for me.
From the jump, too. I like that first issue cutting into the wedding, introducing a little backstory, bringing in Mr.
Oh, I love that they had Mystique and Nightcrawler in there. Reference the whole family aspect. Like, anyone that reads comics and knows about Rogue, they know that that's like a family for her, right? Like, Mystique's her adoptive mom, and by extension, that makes Nightcrawler like her brother, even though they're not like blood relations. But they don't always reference or talk about that. And the movies never did, which really irritated me. They had Mystique in there. They brought Nightcrawler in it. Never once mentioned that they were related or that Rogue was related to them. I hated that.
Well, it's really good that they brought that up, too. And, I like Nightcrawler. I've always had a fan of I mean, he's not a great hero, I suppose. He's not. He's usually in the backdrop and stuff like that.
He's awesome.
I think so.
I love him.
His ability to teleport is really cool, and I'm glad that they, like you said before, that they brought up the relationship. Like, oh, hey, mom's here. Oh, she's my sister. It's like, what side of the wedding are you on? This isn't taking sides. This isn't a battle. Like, oh, I'm on Gambit's side. No, I'm on Rogue's side.
That's my sister, so I'm gonna be on this one. I'm gonna sit over here. I love that in this series, in Mr. and Mrs. X, they immediately jump off with Deadpool, which is very smart to try to attract as much attention, bring as many readers as possible. You use Deadpool, like arguably the most popular Marvel character. Spider-Man's probably the only gives him a run for his money.
Spider-Man is, I was about to say, he's always been a huge fan favorite, also Stan Lee's favorite character,
exactly.
So that obviously immediately propels him to like, well, I like Spider-Man, he's great.
Yeah, Spider-Man is great.
He's a nerdy little guy, but this isn't about Spider-Man.
No, not about the Spider-Mans. This is about Deadpool.
And also, adding Deadpool to the mix is, I guess, an easy way of comic relief. You know what I mean? So you can,
very much.
And because it's not really riddled. Obviously, they have Gambit and Rogue have their back and forth. Gambit being a little perv that he is,
always.
But then he's not pervy, and Rogue's like, "Don't say that." Well, you're thinking it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
You're bringing up the chains. Those are nice chains that you got there.
It's like, I didn't say it. Didn't have to.
Didn't have to.
I love the Gambit and not Nightcrawler. Wow, the Gambit and Deadpool.
Can you stay on Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Can you please?
I love the Gambit and Deadpool interactions. Like, they've always had really good interactions. There was a series a while ago that was Deadpool versus Gambit, and it was terrible. I was so disappointed.
I need to read. Oh,
don't read it. It's
really?
bad. Yeah, I read like 3 or 4 issues. I'm pretty sure it even got canceled. I'm not positive, but I don't think it finished its run.
So it was nowhere near close of that dynamic that they had during the little fight.
It was
when
terrible.
They were going back and forth.
No.
The whole sidewalk.
No.
Okay.
It was like, to me, it was like the writers didn't fully understand Gambit or Deadpool. Like, it wasn't funny. It didn't seem like either character, and the story was uninteresting. Like, the art was okay. Like, I was really disappointed. I was super hyped for that series.
Yeah, because that could be pretty funny.
It was
also
nothing
really
like
action-packed.
It was nothing close to Deadpool vs. Cable, which was amazing. This series has been really cool so far. Like, I love the adventure that they've been on. The whole thing with Xandra and like the honeymoon and all that getting messed up. That was really cool. And all that settled down. They came back to Earth and they were throwing like this party. They have like all their friends come over as like, I guess, like a marriage party or whatever. I don't really know.
A wedding reception.
Yeah, wedding reception, pretty much.
They give the gifts. They get all that stuff together. You see people that you usually don't see together.
Which was cool.
A lot of little Easter eggs in there. I like that.
Oh yeah, I loved it. That was awesome.
Beast suggesting Rogue's like, I think we need something more because she's using that power dampening
right, the collar.
Yep. And she's like, I need a little more, that hurts me less. It's less
less conspicuous.
Less conspicuous. And he's like, I mean, why would we make that? Wouldn't that be a little too
this
villains
is bad
could
for
take
us?
that. Yeah, that's not a good thing to do. But he did do something nice as a wedding gift, helped her out, gave her a ring, I believe, or bracelet. And
which
that was really cool. Yeah.
It's a lot less less noticeable now. Oh, it's just a bracelet. Not wearing a collar.
If you haven't been reading this, they're making Rogue more broken.
She is about to be Omega level.
She is about to be Omega level. With her powers to be able to siphon people's powers. Now she is able to do so without even touching people.
Just anyone in the vicinity.
Anything within the vicinity, boom, sucked it in. And obviously there's been times so far that we've noticed she can't control it.
Exactly. She's like having to relearn that.
Yes, and Xandra brought that up. She mentioned that. She's like, there's something inside you, and she offered the change. Obviously, Rogue's had that happen in the past. It doesn't work. It backfires and kind of hurts the people that try to help them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's cool seeing her branch out on this, having Rogue, God, I mean, I hate Rogue. Can I say that here?
Can I just say that
I hate
Rogue
what
is
they're
trash?
doing with Rogue because she's too powerful.
Dude, I love Rogue, and this series, coupled with the previous series, has propelled her to my number 1. She was always my number 2, and Gambit was my 1, but Rogue is not my 1.
What?
The way that they're writing her, she's amazing, dude. Whoa, you have something to say about Rogue?
I have something
about
to say,
Anna Marie?
dude. This fanboy over here. Oh, Gambit. Oh,
about Anna Marie LeBeau.
Now they're married. Oh, how dare you?
that.
How dare you bring that up?
Anna Marie LeBeau. If you look up Rogue's last name on the wiki, it's Anna Marie LeBeau.
And then 40 other last names.
I like that they've changed that now. It's got Gambit's last name.
Better be. We just read a wedding issue.
Gambit should have taken her last name, so she should be Anna Marie and then Remy. Just no last name.
But going in right before the issue 7 is where we just read. Just at the wedding reception, we were talking about that. Got the gifts, but they had the nice little fight on the top, dealing with Remy being the king of thieves.
Yeah, raw.
Bringing
and these
that
people
in,
were...
his dad shows up. I don't even know the last time I've
crazy,
seen
dude. Right?
Gambit's father.
Uh-huh.
They brought that in. They have a little battle up top. Rogue falls down. Little glimpse of Magneto.
That was
popping
dope.
down.
She
That
went
was really
like,
cool. Asking if she needed help, whatever.
They have
Magneto
a
has a nice
ton.
little force field around him that can kind of protect him. He's like,
For
I
a
gotta
little
go.
while.
I got a couple minutes before I gotta,
I
get
gotta
out of here
bounce
before
out.
I die.
Yeah. I love that they brought that in, had like a little moment together because they have a lot of history and like
history.
romantic history
Yes,
too.
yes.
So it was really cool that like. And they even referenced that Magneto is like Marvel's turning him back into being Magneto, like he's going back to being the villain. And they even reference that too. It's like essentially says something like, "Aren't you like a bad guy now?" or whatever. It's like
Can you kind of leave that gray though?
he says something to the effect of like, "We'll never agree on like certain things, whatever." Like, well, it's of opposing views. But I like that even. Like that they brought that up and made it known that it doesn't really matter when it comes to the two of them. They have a bond that is beyond that.
Okay.
Like not almost, but exactly like how Xavier and Magneto. They have a bond that goes beyond the fact that one's good and one's bad. Like it doesn't matter. They have something that goes beyond that. And Rogue and him have that as well. Like of all the X-Men, that's the one that he definitely has the closest bond to is Rogue. So,
Since we just got off track. Oh, don't Matthew McConaughey me. Not here. Not in front of our one viewer. Okay.
Not in front of Jeff Knight.
And our 2 listeners.
Not in front of Jeff.
We're seeing you, Jeff.
Not in front of Jeff and Sean.
No, he's just a supporter. He doesn't watch. He just donates.
He's just a monetary supporter.
That's all it is. That's all. Going back to the wedding reception after that whole fight, Magneto gets brought in. Really cool. Remy noticed, hey, we still have one more gift left. What could this freaking gift be?
That doesn't have like any kind of special marking on it. It doesn't say like to or from or anything like
just
that.
Looks like a traditional
Of
box.
course. They open it up and then bam, the next thing you know, the next panel, they're hanging over a pit of alligators and they are dressed in their classic animated cartoon X-Men series uniforms, which is freaking sweet. So then cue issue 7 and they are in Mojo World, which is awesome. I love Mojo. His stories that have Mojo in it are always just ridiculous. They're just crazy. And like they're always fun.
I mean, it's
yeah,
a TV
bizarre
show.
and
That's
fun.
all he is.
I love
his
him.
planet is just like, hey, watch my reality TV show that I'm creating for you. Enjoy.
He's just a nutcase, dude. I love him.
Yeah, and I loved in that last panel when they show them hanging above the crocodiles, the little bubbles all the way, talking about what's going to happen next. What's going to happen? Are the writers running out of ideas?
Crocodiles?
Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Mojo's trying to frame like a romantic thing going on, which isn't hard to do with Gambit and Rogue, but he's trying to make like a love story happen. You know, that's like
nice little action sequence in between too.
They had an
awesome
action sequence going on. I love the outfit they gave Rogue when they went and did the noir little section of it.
Yes,
that was awesome, dude. Rogue looked dope in that outfit.
I really like the face design of Rogue too.
Dude,
and you
I
mentioned
love
off screen, it's kind of got an anime vibe. It's not like in your face anime, and I love anime. This guy hates it.
It's got a bit of an anime vibe to it, especially the way that Rogue's face is designed. A bit on Gambit's too, but way more on Rogue.
More on Rogue. She's got that cute vibe while also knowing I will destroy you. So entering the Mojo verse, bringing up Mojo, bringing up his commander Spiral. I like how he threatens her. Like, she's supposed to be a bad. Like, they mention the powers, what she has, what she can do, and he's like, don't make me take your powers away again. Just listen to what I say. They pull out the wheel. I love the little game show vibe. I mean, that's the whole Mojo verse. He loves entertaining his people with whatever they can do. Brings up the thing, has a bunch of different topics on there, genres on there, clowns is on there.
God, I hope it's not clowns.
Well, they land on Noir, go into that. I love the design, like you said, the leather of that. Why are they wearing leather?
Yeah, they even mention like why would she be wearing leather? But like I don't know, the way that it was drawn, like with the small little green jacket, like she used to have the small brown jacket, but now it's green because her predominant color is green now. With like the leather and stuff, like it looked really cool. It looked very noir, like what it should, but it looked superhero noir. You know what I mean? And then Gambit's outfit was way more classic. He had like the chest thing and the brown trench coat and stuff. He was way more classic. Rogue's was the one that was more different. And that action scene was awesome. I love when she grabs the shotgun and we're not shooting. We're not doing this.
And I like how when Rogue does something, obviously he's in love with her, but he also realizes that when Remy brings it up, he's just like, oh, you done messed up now.
No,
you know,
yeah.
Anytime that there's ever somebody, because she didn't want to get involved, she still had her collar or her bracelet on at that time, did she not?
I believe so.
Yes. And that broke off. And then the next ensues. Obviously, that wasn't the best thing, but it breaks off into a very sad moment. Obviously, it's not real,
Right? Yeah,
but still,
she
you see it's
doesn't really
traumatic.
know.
Yeah, she doesn't really know. They're kind of figuring out.
It seems like they're trying to make Rogue an empath, and I think it kind of ties into that of how she's realizing like something's not going right here, something is wrong, and the background starts to look different, you know, like almost digitized, and then she like kills Gambit, and he turns into like a skeleton right in front of her.
As she holds him.
Yeah.
God, see the love
was
of your
intense.
life held in your arms like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
man.
that was awful.
And bringing up the empath thing, I think that is very viable that they might be leaning towards
I think
that. 'Cause
that's what
how
they're
would you know? How would you feel what's going on in that area? Know that you're in a simulation. You know what I mean? Because they just last thing they know, they're hanging over crocodiles.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Boom, we're just in the next thing. What are we doing? Why are we fighting that? And Rogue's really the only one bringing it up. Remy's not really questioning
Yeah, it's always Rogue that's like, oh, this is different. This is weird. So the first time they do this is whenever her and Xandra first do their illusion back like several issues ago. Her and Gambit are having an argument, and she was like, I know that you think that I'm correct. I can feel that you feel that way. You know what I mean? Now,
another hint. I didn't catch that.
So that definitely could have been like residual effect of her just having touched Xandra and absorbed a bunch of Xandra's powers, but I don't think so. I think that's something that Rogue is going to have absorbed and kept. Like what she did with Carol Danvers, where she absorbed and kept super strength and flight.
But she held on to Carol for so long, though.
True, she killed her. She killed her.
Because when she grabbed Xandra, they thought that they both
exactly.
died. Sorry,
she
you're going to believe
kill Xandra,
me.
but Xandra's an Omega level telepath mutant, right? So like when
and
she
freshly
grabs her,
born
and
in
freshly
this.
born. So when she grabs her and she's so powerful, I think that absorbed and changed Rogue, and not only just changed her powers to where she doesn't have to touch anybody now, but I think it added and gave her more powers because Xandra said she's evolved.
Can we
like
make her
grown.
more broken, please?
I legit think that's what they're doing. They're trying to make her Omega level. That's what the entire point of this series, I think, is to finally bring Rogue into the echelon. Because when you look at her powers on paper, like the ability to absorb any special being's powers, period. Now, the only thing that stops her is, can she handle it? You know what I mean? Like, Thanos with a full gauntlet, she could theoretically, boom, nope, now I have all the power, you're dead. But she probably couldn't handle it. I'd probably kill her instantly.
Yes.
She wouldn't be able to control it, you know?
Would she be able to absorb the Infinity Stones or Infinity Gems in the comics?
That's what I'm saying. She probably could, but she probably can't handle it to kill her instantly. That's the
so.
only thing that stops her is she like physically strong enough and mentally strong enough to be able to withstand all of that power and not die instantly. But now, with her being able to absorb anyone around her on a whim, sometimes when she don't even freaking want to, that's going to have made her evolve to where she can handle that now. Otherwise, she could just die instantly.
Being surrounded
at
by
any
that
point
many
in time.
people with powers,
just instantly die. Getting back to the Mojo verse, but yeah, I think that the way or the reason that she was able to sense that something is different and it's not right is because of her seemingly new empath abilities.
Absolutely.
I think that's how she was able to sense that, because Gambit certainly didn't. Only she did, right?
Only she did. He was just going with the flow, moving with whatever the Mojo decided to make the television show. You know, it's a drama, man. It's a romance. Everybody loves a romance.
There are 6 and an 8. Those are solid rating numbers.
Those are solid ratings. I forgot he brought that up. That's great. God, yes.
Love that. So yeah, she realizes, oh, something's not right here. Murders Gambit, seemingly. So they have to redo the whole thing. So when they redo the whole thing, now Rogue is essentially Sleeping Beauty, laying on the slab,
laying on the bed,
and Prince Charming's got to come in. And when Prince Charming comes in, it's all like drawn very dark, and you can't tell who it is. Obviously, it's gonna be Gambit, but no, lo and behold, it's Longshot. That's gonna be interesting. Longshot, if for people that don't really know about Longshot, I'm not extremely familiar with him, but I know a little bit about him, and he is OP.
It's Mr. Lucky.
I'm very excited to see how they use him moving forward. And he's like a constant mainstay in the Mojo universe. He's been an X-Men member before, and he has the powers of luck like Domino, but his are different in the fact that he doesn't just create his own luck. He alters probabilities to make himself lucky, which conversely makes everyone that's around him unlucky.
Yep, he's drawing luck from those other people around him.
Using himself.
Superhuman regenerative powers, stuff like that. Reading on his abilities, he does seem like
he's broken, bro.
And made by Mojo.
Yeah, and made by Mojo. He's like a Mojo slave race person.
Two hearts, I mean, sure, because that's a thing.
We don't know what Gambit's doing right now. We didn't see him at the end. So I'm excited for the next issue to see how this moves forward in Mojoverse, with Longshot being in there now. Like, I like Mojoverse. It's different, but it's cool.
I like Mojoverse, and I'm going to say this. It's going to be an unpopular opinion here.
Because all your opinions are unpopular. No one
pretty
likes you.
much. Going into this threw me off pretty bad because of the arc bringing up the Xandra, the egg, having all of those people bring in. You get to see Cyclops' dad, Havoc's dad. They bring in the troopers. They bring all that stuff in, all these different other big things happening, and then goes right to a wedding party, and then boom, we're in the Mojoverse. You know what I mean? I would have liked to focus on that. You know, obviously I'm a huge fan of Deadpool, so more Deadpool the better.
Yeah.
But if he's not in this, that doesn't ruin anything. You know what I mean?
It's not his series. He was his feature.
It's not his series, exactly. And he has a thing with Rogue. They had a little bit of a thing.
Back out. Yeah, get out
I
of
love
here.
DP. Okay. And when they jumped into the Mojoverse, I wasn't against it. It's just what they led up to with the one issue as being a wedding issue. Nice seeing everybody. They're getting married. 5 issues of, an awesome, crazy arc. Like, oh my God, there's introducing,
Sandra?
Yes, introducing an Omega level type person. They even say that before it even hatched.
Professor X's daughter. I mean, boom, what's happening?
You got a winner.
Big deal.
Like the design, she's very passive. I mean, she's still just born, but she has the ability to read everybody's minds.
I love her. I love the design of her character.
Yes.
And how she, read their memories and learned her entire history, the history of her mom. Epic saga with her mom and her dad with everything, right? And then she decided, right, well, this is how I'm going to look based on those 2 people, and then named herself after her parents.
And
that was awesome.
Combination of that, I thought that was really cool. Bringing up, and you get to meet her, I guess, aunt, I believe.
Yeah,
correct,
pretty much.
Right?
Pretty much.
The one that raised
her,
her.
godparent, basically.
Yes. And before Rude Nick hopped in and started just completely butchering what I was saying. Those 5s were good. 6 bringing us back to the same kind of feel of the first issue. I thought that was nice.
Exactly.
And then throwing us into a Mojoverse, which is just, in
completely
a way,
different.
thinking about it, is like going from the wedding reception to that kind of makes for a different, what's really going on in this arc. You know what I mean? Because you have boom, 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 big stuff, wedding. And then now it's like, oh, wow, they're thrown through something completely different, a whole new arc. Are they going to wrap back up the introduction of Longshot?
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting to see because this is all in Mojo's control. I mean,
exactly.
for what
sure.
we know,
for
until
sure.
Rogue completely sucks the life out of everybody in the entire
Until
world.
Rogue murders the Mojoverse.
I mean, that's all I can say. That's all, man. I'm excited for the next issue. I really think that they're going to obviously expand on, I'm guessing, the Mojoverse for maybe 2 more issues, maybe only 1.
I'm assuming it's going to be a 3 to 5 issue arc.
Yep,
Is what I would
don't
imagine.
think it will be
too much more than that. I mean, Xandra, that arc was massive, and it was 5 issues.
Okay.
How long is Mojo World going to be? Right.
I mean,
it's definitely not as big as that.
I wouldn't say it's a filler, but I'm interested to see what next step they take to progress this story.
It could end up being filler, but it could also lead to something really cool. Yep. You know what I mean?
But it's also hinting at, like you've been mentioning before, the empath ability. Mm-hmm. Is that something that we're just going to keep branching off to? They introduced Longshot. Like we said, we don't know much about him, but he's so interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm down for his powers. I'm excited to see where this goes.
I am too. I'm excited for the series moving on, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're reading it for the show, so definitely excited. Omega Level is proudly sponsored by Ink or Dye Studios, a unique combination of a tattoo parlor and hair salon. Located at 270 North Dakota Street by Flanagan's, Ink or Dye Studios employs the best artists and stylists around. Boasting a friendly atmosphere, helpful, talented, and incredibly creative staff, Ink or Dye Studios is the only tattoo shop and hair salon you'll ever need. Stop in, call, or contact them through their social media accounts today to set up an appointment. As we said previously, we're getting prepared for Avengers Endgame. We're hype. Josh is not going to watch it. I can't wait for
100% skipping.
Skipping that. But yeah, so we watched Age of Ultron. Critically, it was not very well received, and it's generally considered one of the worst MCU movies, which I don't get.
I mean, it made over $1 billion.
For real. The first time I watched it, I fell in love, and it was my favorite MCU movie. Mm-hmm. And it has maintained that status until Infinity War came out, obviously. And watching it again, it's still my second favorite one. This movie is incredible. I do not get the criticisms. James Spader brings it, 100%. He's the Rock. He's just bring it. He comes in there as Ultron and delivers a monumental performance. He gives, I think, the best performance of the entire MCU until Brolin comes in as Thanos. He crushes it as freaking Ultron.
Do you smell what the Spader is cooking?
Can you smell what James
That's just
Spader's
a question
cooking?
I'm going to ask you.
Also love, a little trivia there. James Spader was hired to do the voice performance. That's all he was hired for, was just to do the voice performance of Ultron. He didn't have to be on set. But he obviously read the script and everything, and he's like, well, this is a major character. It's essentially the lead role of the film. You know what I mean? I should be there. So he took it upon himself to want to come. So he came and did all the mocap performance of Ultron. He was on set and played Ultron. Dude, really because he is him.
James Spader, man.
And they took this big pole, because Ultron's supposed to be 8-9 feet tall. Took this big pole and put 2 red balls on top of it for his eyes, so the actors know where to look. And all the time, Elizabeth Olsen would mess up and look at Spader instead of the eyeballs. And every time she did that, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's Quicksilver on set, would just interrupt the take and be like, balls, Lizzie, red balls, red balls.
And I'm really glad he did, because it shows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Ultron really does steal the show. I don't know why people sleep on him as a character. Do they not like James Spader?
He was the best villain until Thanos.
That's what I thought. Yeah, no,
Easily.
Absolutely. Yes, now Thanos definitely, I mean nothing against anybody.
level.
I mean, he was absolutely amazing.
They're on an awesome path right now with the last two big villains being Killmonger, who was amazingly performed,
yes,
and then Thanos. But before that, it was pretty much just Ultron. Like that has been kind
Loki,
of
but
Loki's been
that
awesome. But he's
transition of
tweener.
being more of the in between, and that's just Loki. He's gonna play the game.
The MCU Loki is a bit different than the comics look like.
Yes.
So comics Loki is a villain, but he also does like toe that line and do things that are kind of good. But it always is for his ulterior motive. Literally every single time, it turns out to be, oh, this actually wasn't good. Like Loki's a piece of trash, and he's kind of like that in the MCU, but he's way more of an anti-hero in the MCU. They've definitely brought him in to make him a person with a good heart that just does the wrong thing.
Especially bringing in Ragnarok and all that stuff,
dude,
too.
like,
And we'll touch on that on another video.
Yeah, they've definitely made Loki like more of a good guy than the MCU than they have in the comics. So I don't really qualify him as a villain.
No.
So up until it's just been Ultron, like that's been a big knock on the MCU is that their villains are kind of underdeveloped, and I can kind of get on board and agree with that.
Some of the solos, and
some
stuff,
of them
like
are
Malekith and Dark World and stuff like. God, yeah.
I love Dark. I love Dark World,
yes.
But Malekith was very poorly written.
Very poorly
and
written.
That is the most important villain in all of Thor, and they just poorly wrote him. That sucks. But I did think the movie was done very well.
Yeah,
but they just didn't relay a lot on
enjoyable.
Malekith.
No.
He's just kind of there. So, like, I get it, man. Red Skull wasn't super well developed either. And then, like, Winter Soldier was amazingly developed. And again, but he's not a true villain.
Yeah.
The first Iron Man movie, whatever his name was not very well developed at all. It was kind of shoehorned in there.
The
Mandarin was not very well.
Whiplash, though.
Whiplash wasn't very well developed, which sucks because that's like one of my favorite Iron Man villains.
And then I didn't realize it's been so long since I've seen Iron Man 3 when they brought Mandarin was apparently like this like hippie pot smoking dude that they played by Ben Kingsley. Like,
and Ben Kingsley's character is just an actor that's playing the Mandarin, which sucks, man. Because up until the reveal, Mandarin was done right. He was awesome in that movie.
Okay, whoa, he's doing his thing. This is Mandarin.
Yeah, and then he's an actor. Like it was a cool twist in a sense, but it wasn't because like you just ruined Mandarin.
Yeah,
that was dumb.
Completely took that out.
You should have ruined.
3. We'll be back in the Avengers. Who cares?
Yeah,
okay, no.
You should have ruined a different character. Like who cares about Justin Hammer? Mandarin's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, it's like it's been James Spader holding down the freaking fort. And this entire movie is just, I don't know, man. It hits all the proper beats to me again, like we spoke about with the first Avengers. The Black Widow is so well written in this movie, man. And a lot of people criticize her and Hulk's relationship as like shoehorned in or whatever. Man, they planted the seeds for that in the first Avengers.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
Did they not watch the first Avengers? Yeah, she wasn't as into Banner, and Banner wasn't as receptive to that.
But there's little flirty moments to it.
Absolutely.
And
she definitely
she's
had
the
that,
one that calms him
I can
down.
kind of be myself around her. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like it's, or around him. Like it's
because
not more natural.
He's outwardly a monster, and she inwardly feels like a monster.
Yes.
So she feels that connection with him already. That's like another criticism for some reason that this movie gets is that people, like, not for some reason, I do kind of get it that they reduced, like, Black Widow feels like a monster because she can't have children. They, like, reduced her down to, like, the basic premise of what a woman is, which is just to birth more people, right? So, like, yeah, I get that people kind of took that as, like, oh, that's just, like, reducing her to that's all she is. But I'm not a woman, and I can't have children, so I don't know, like, what that would be like to not be able to do something that I should be able to do, like, biologically, you know? When she was in the graduation ceremony, they sterilize you and make you murder somebody. She's like 15 years old in the graduation ceremony.
Doing
16
dark
or something,
stuff.
Doing awful, awful stuff. She's already been in this program to be brainwashed her entire freaking life from a very young age. And now she is told, all right, well, you're being sterilized and now you got to kill this person.
As a graduation ceremony.
It's a graduation.
That is the thing they do.
To make you a full-on, like,
yeah.
you're ready to go in the field now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's awful. So, yeah, of course she feels like a monster. Not only is she a murderer, she has no real identity, and now she can never have a family and never be a mother. Like, that's awful. Yeah, of course she feels like a monster. Like, I don't understand, like, maybe you should just, I don't know, this is going to sound so awful for me to say about people, but maybe you should just think a little bit more about something before you immediately jump on the bandwagon of like, oh yeah, I didn't like that either.
Well, that too, and the fact that, so if you look at this character, yes, she's a woman. She's sad that she can't have children. You know, seems to be a big thing for her.
I think anybody would be upset about that.
That's what I'm saying. But if they're not, are you viewing her and saying that all women are the same?
True.
Because that's wrong.
Yeah,
Nobody is the same as the next person.
Exactly.
You might have similarities. You have that. I mean, I'm not going to branch off into how human psychology works.
Right.
But to say that, like, they wanted to write that. Joss Whedon, from the first Avengers, was doing a really good job with Black Widow, bringing her what she was, building that relationship. And if she is sad about having a child, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, why can't she be like that?
Why can't she be like that? Why does
also,
I don't think that's a anchor of her character.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think
just
that
a part of like,
shoehorns
oh, that's why I'm
into
sad. I
something
think she's sad because she's killed a bunch of people, and now it's starting to finally get to her.
Then of course it's something she's upset about now, and her best friend is Hawkeye, who has a family with children, so she has to see that all the time. They call her Auntie Nat, so obviously she's around these kids a lot. Yeah, that's something that she's thinking about now as she's getting older in her life. She's like, I've been a spy and this awful person for so long, and then like Nick Fury gave me this chance to like get the red out of my ledger and like restart my life. I can't restart my life and go have a normal, typical life of like something that I would like to to settle down and do one day, she can't ever do it.
Nope.
And she has to see this all the time from Hawkeye and Hawkeye's wife and Hawkeye's kids that call her auntie, you know what I mean? Like, it's a constant reminder. So, yes, she feels like a monster about it. I don't know. And it seems to me like people didn't really think deep enough into that. They just immediately wrote it off like, oh, this is just a woman. The only thing I don't like about Ultron as much is that Thor is barely in it. He's not given a whole lot to do.
Yeah, and when they had the fight towards the end, Ultron's like, immediately is like, I'm tired of you. Takes him off for a good chunk of that.
Yeah,
But
and,
he
like,
was
throws
also
him out.
playing,
Like-
but he was also playing the stalling game. You know, he was like,
True.
I don't know how long I can do this.
True,
Boom.
true.
You know, they both had that. Ultron had his moment. Thor had his moment. But bringing in what this launches to the next phases, Civil War and stuff, this shows the disconnect of all that. They're all not trusting Tony Stark because, I mean,
He created Ultron.
he created
Even though
Ultron. He's wanting to get rid of
Banner had to
superheroes
help him do
altogether.
it. It was Tony.
Yes, it was Tony, but yeah, you had the mind of Banner assisting him, but it was all Tony's idea. So, of course, Banner, you know, gets backed up, and he's like, is this what you're going to do? You just cower down anytime anybody goes against you?
Right?
Like, jeez.
I don't know. Overall, I thought it was very well done. The introduction of Scarlet Witch was very well done, and the way that they had to change her because of the issues with like Fox owning the X-Men rights, so they couldn't like call her a mutant. They had to like create a whole new thing. And I do like though how
Killing
they
off Quicksilver.
Yeah, killing off Quicksilver. I like how they slipped in though that the Infinity Stone didn't give her powers. It just unlocked what was already there.
Yeah.
So she is a mutant without them having to say
they
it.
haven't
And I was
said
like,
it. They can't. They were about to though.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah,
Didn't see that coming.
I like that. Yeah, raw. Didn't see that coming. I like how they introduced those two characters. I like Ultron was amazing. The team dynamic was very well done. Once again, the dynamic between Captain America and Iron Man is just amazingly well done. Once again, like their dynamic is so good. Evans and Downey Jr. play so well off each other, especially in like the big team up movies, obviously, because that's when they're together. But in the Joss Whedon movies, he really understands how to write those two characters in a scene together.
Yes.
Like I really like when they're on screen in the first two Avengers movies together. He writes it very well.
He writes it okay.
It's decent. He can't write
I
any
mean,
females. but-
Chris Evans was jacked for this film.
Oh my god!
Oh
dude.
my lord!
He was
When they did the
massive.
woodcutting scene, dude, he's just
I love the little slight nuanced Tony Stark reaction to that too. It's just that.
It's
That's
just,
like, really?
Don't touch my pile. It's like there's like 400 wood blocks next to freaking Cap.
I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, and then
Oh, they had that competitive spirit the whole time too, with
always.
Thor comparing Jane, like who's better.
I
Was
love that at
Jane's
the
better.
party. At the very end, it's like, but Jane's better.
What is she getting? How you say a Nobel
Well, prize? Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and rip it up right there. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we post new content. Let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of the Mr. and Mrs. X series right now? Are you digging it like we are? Are you sad to see that the Xandra arc is kind of wrapped up like we are? We want her back. What do you think of Age of Ultron? Do you think that we're stupid and everyone, and not everyone, but like that a lot of other people are correct and the criticisms are true and then we're just morons and we're reading too much into wanting to defend Joss Whedon? Is he really awful and can't write women? Like what's going on here? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Does Buffy not exist? I don't know. So just let us know.
Don't.